The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with your mental health professional. Hey, family. Welcome back to another episode of The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Oh, family, I missed you. So last week, what we did was we did a rewind of narcissism. We rewinded narcissism because there was a lot of people who were talking about narcissists and narcissism and, putting those labels on people again. And so I just kind of do what's in my spirit. So that kind of came up for me. So I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to rewind. So we rewind and we put narcissism out there. But this week, family, I'm hoping that this week really moves you, because what's on my spirit this week as I talk to you, and this is not an interview, this is your girl by herself here. But this week, I want to talk about fear. I want to really encourage you to push through fear. Now, fear, is a natural response to certain things, maybe situations or items where that can be dangerous, or let's just say that we've learned that are dangerous. So it would make sense to be fearful to put your hand in the mouth of a tiger. Okay, it would be silly, okay, for you not to be fearful of that. But the fear that I'm talking about today is the fear of following your dreams. Is the fear that's holding you back from doing the things that you really want to do, from seeing the things that you really want to see, from going to places that you really want to go. So I'm talking about that fear. We're going to bust through that fear today. So let me just say this. If it were a phobia like atychiphobia, and atychiphobia is the fear, it's an intense fear of failure. Okay? An intense fear of failure surrounding and really trying to avoid certain situations. So that's what that is. And that is a disorder. And any type of regular fear can turn into a disorder. Okay? So, as I'm speaking of atychiphobia, then that I want you to go to your therapist. I want you to find a therapist. You go to a therapist and you work through phobias. Okay. And I will tell you, for atychiphobia, it's about 2 to 5% of the population who suffers from that. Okay. All right. But aside from that, okay, I'm just talking about the regular fear that you allow to stop you from following your dreams. I really want to talk to you about that, because what I want to encourage you to do is to jump anyway. So although you're fearful, as long as things make sense, as long as the jump is rational, and I'll give you some examples of some rational jumps today, I am encouraging you to jump, because what I know for sure is God is always supporting your good. He's always supporting your good. Jump. And really, what is failure? Like, let's look at that. What is failure? Okay, so it's something that I try and yet it doesn't work out. But yet and still, I'm still living. I'm still moving around. I still pretty much have all of my needs, and I still can attempt to do something else. What is failure? So what? So what? Like, really, 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 how debilitating is failure? Do we really fail when something doesn't work? Is, like, is failure a bad thing? I'm going to say, Andrea is going to say, failure is not a bad thing. Because what failure does is it just teaches you and tells you that, whoop, that way didn't work, and we better try another way. We need to try another way. So I'm also going to say, push through. We're going to jump through our fears, and we're also going to jump over failure. Accept failure, because it could happen, and then there's a probability that it doesn't happen. But even if it does, it's only setting you up or positioning you to go a little bit higher, or maybe go a little bit differently. So embrace it. Embrace failure. Hey, I'm embracing failure. Like, that's just what it is. Failure who? Failure what? I'm like, just come on. Come on. Come on and take this ride with me, failure. Come ride with me, because I'm going after everything I believe God has promised me. That's what I want y'all to say, because that's how I feel. I'm going after. Let me tell y'all something. You don't know how long we are living here in this world, in the world that we're in, that's here on earth. We don't know. Our days are numbered, but God knows the number. We don't know the number. So, but what I do know is we ain't going to live here for the rest, for eternity. There you go. Now, that's for true. That's for sure. And I know y'all know that too. So, since our days are numbered, then let's do this thing. I want to get everything out of every number while we here. Out of every single year that we are here on this earth, I am encouraging you to get everything that you can get. Try everything that you can try, and please try to achieve everything that you desire. Don't leave nothing on the table. I'm not leaving nothing on the table. You got me? Now check this out. Andrea, she doesn't want what's yours. But what Andrea wants is what's hers. I want what's mine, and I'm going to get it. And I'm here today to encourage you to do the same thing. You hear what I'm saying? Okay, all right. And God is always conspiring for your good, so you have to trust that. But it looks like a jump. Like, it looks like a jump. So listen, so let me just start off with, I want to start off with, let me just see a few of my jumps. I just want to give you guys, and let me just let y'all know that I ain't finished jumping yet, okay? So I know that I told y'all about my South by Southwest story. That was a jump, when I was like emceeing that event. That was a jump, honey, okay? Yes, and I told y'all, I said, hell yes, and I did that, and I love it, and I believe in my heart that God set me up for that, through people that I love, that for something else, like something else is coming. So Andrea is still jumping. That's why I'm here to encourage you, because I want you to do the same. Don't let fear hold you back. And don't ever think that Andrea, which is me, let me stop speaking in the third person. Don't ever think that I don't get afraid, or I don't get butterflies in my stomach, or, I don't get those negative thoughts, or my trauma sometimes doesn't speak to me, which makes my anxiety rise. Like, can I do it? I don't know. Because all of those things do happen to me. But guess what I do? I jump anyway. I make my decision to go forward. I commit to it, and I jump anyway. And I don't have one regret. Do y'all hear me? I don't have any regrets for any of the times that I jumped. So I'll start off by saying, many of you know I used to own a hair salon some years ago. So it was a long time ago. I used to own a hair salon, and that was, that was my way of income. That was something that I've learned. I am a licensed cosmetologist, and I still keep my license up. I do not do hair anymore. Like, I'm licensed a cosmetologist, so like skin and hair and nails. I don't do any of that. However, since it's one of my gifts, one of my talents, and y'all know I will tell y'all that we have many gifts that God has given us, I just never know when I might need it again. So I'm always renewing my license. Okay. That's just to let you know. It's a little caveat, a little side information just to let y'all know. However, I used to have a hair salon years ago. And as I had my hair salon and I would service my clientele, those were my clients who were also my family. You hear me? My family. And the women who worked at my salon with me, those are my family too. So, but as we were doing that and working and slaying hair out here in these streets, okay, in the streets of New Jersey, all of a sudden there was something that came up in my stomach as to me not really living my true purpose. And so I really was going on a journey of trying to figure out what my purpose was. Like, what is my purpose on this earth? Why am I here? Because I want whatever it is that I'm doing to fill me up. I was really good at doing hair. I was really good at it, really dope at that. I'm very creative. However, I didn't like it anymore. Like, I just didn't like it. You know how you get up and you go to a job every day and you just don't like it? That doesn't feel good to your spirit. It doesn't feed your spirit. And this was the thing. I loved my family there. I loved the women that I serviced. I loved the women who worked with me, loved them. So we would have a good time. You know what I mean? We'd have a good time. We even used to have I think I like chartered a bus one time and we had like a bus ride to the casino, with the clients. There was a time that I think we was even I ain't even gonna say we, I'm gonna say I was even selling purses and like there was a lot of stuff. We would have parties, we would have card parties, okay, at the salon. And then maybe at some of the different clients, and they may not want me to say their names, but the clients like houses, we'd have parties. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun together. And I was more tied to having that fun than I was really, feeling lit up and feeling in resonance when I was doing hair. It was easy for me to do, but it didn't feel purposeful. So, anywho, when I found out what my purpose was, which it really was to inspire and to empower, it was to inspire and empower, to help people get from wherever they were to wherever it is that they want to be. Okay? To get from wherever they were and they are here today to wherever it is that you want to be. And the reason why I went the mental health route to getting there was because, yeah, I could sit up here and I can motivate you all day. People do, and they can speak it and speak it. But then sometimes you could motivate someone and give them all of the words, but then they're stuck. They can't move forward. So that's why I said, wait, hold on. I have to learn, why do people get stuck? So I went to school, faced my fear. That's the first fear, because I didn't think I was smart enough to go to school. I did not think I was smart enough to go to college. Oh, that's so good. So that was why I tried to skirt around going to college, okay? And just taking whatever ability I had creatively. And I got my license, my cosmetology license, and then, ended up opening a salon after working a couple of places. And that's a strategy I could tell anybody who wants to know how to do that. But okay. So I pushed through fear there because, when I was noticing that, yeah, I need to, it's empowerment. I have to empower people and I have to lift people up. And, then my thing was, I would always be given advice because I was always just that type of person that people would always come to and ask me for advice. So, at the time, I'm telling you, I had a high school education. Okay. I'm just giving advice. This is the God in me, okay, just giving advice. But then I would see how people would get stuck, and I couldn't understand why they would get stuck. So I was like, okay, I need to go and learn all about the brain and human behavior so that I could figure out why they get stuck and then help them to get over those bumps and those barriers to get them unstuck. All right. So then I had to, woohoo, girl, you're going to have to go to school. All right. You are going to have to face a fear that you have that was rooted inside of me. And it was rooted inside of me from, I think it was a first grade class. I think it was my first grade teacher. I overheard him and another teacher talking about they were talking about their students and they were talking about testing. And I can remember there was some kind of comment that he said, and I'll say his name because I don't even know if he's still living, but my teacher's name was Mr. Reynolds. Never forget. He was so cool. He was the coolest teacher. But I heard Mr. Reynolds talking to this other teacher. And as they were talking, they were saying, and we were in the same grade, but they were saying something about, he said something about his class and that his class wasn't as smart as the other class, or they didn't achieve, I guess the scores weren't as high as the other class. So I ever heard this, and then I realized my little self was like, oh shoot, you in his class, you in Mr. Reynolds' class, you you ain't that smart, you are not that smart. So I kind of carried that with me. So that was shame that I carried with me of, oh, you're not that smart. Oh, you're not that smart. Although on my report cards, and this was even after Mr. Reynolds' class, I go to different schools and I always scored really high on my tests and I studied well and I always got good grades. I was always on an honor roll. However, that seed that was planted in me years ago said, you aren't that smart, right? And that was in my brain as it was developing as a child. So that's why you have to be extremely careful what you say around your children. You understand? Because it can affect them for the rest of their lives. So this was a seed that was planted. You're not that smart, girl. You ain't that smart. Okay, all right. So anywho, carried it forward. I'm bringing y'all back to where we are. So now I'm like, oh gosh, all right. So how you going to go and learn about this brain? You're going to have to go to college, sis, because when you applied to college, when you graduated from school at 17, you graduated a year early because you wasn't that smart. No, that wasn't it. You smart. But you graduated early. And when you attempted to go to a school, the first school that you applied to denied you. So that further confirmed, girl, you ain't that smart. So that's when I started, doing the hair. Okay. So then after doing the hair and getting my license, the cosmetology, doing all of those things, and then I get my own salon. So here we go, y'all. I hope y'all tracking, right? A girl that's not that smart is smart enough to know that when she has a gift, ain't nobody gonna pimp her for that gift for so long. So what she did was, and this is Andrea again, me, talking in third person, I need to stop doing that. So what I did instead was I said, there is no way in the world that somebody else is going to keep making most of the money off of me and I just get the diddly dams. So I would get the lower percentage, right? The even percentage. I'm thumping and I'm working and I'm getting even percentage. Wasn't tracking, not for me. So that's when I started realizing and understanding the business, understanding what it meant to even have clientele, understanding what it meant to have overhead, I'm understanding all of these things. And then I said to myself, what you're going to do is you're going to open up your own spot. So this was after I had probably gone to maybe 2 or 3 different hair salons and worked for them. And that was only probably in a 2-year time span. And I'm going to say that at that time, I may have been 19 years old. Okay. So I was young. But anywho, I realized I was like, nope, you're going to get your own salon. And let me tell y'all something. Yeah, because I could stay on this story. So as I'm like searching for salons and I'm working overtime, you know what I'm saying? I'm working on days, working hard, okay, as an entrepreneur, on days that are not the normal days that you take clients, all right? But I'm just working. I'm trying to, make this money and make this money. And I'm trying to put together in my head. I've never done construction before, but it was my dream. The dream was I was going to have a salon. I never bought a salon before. I never bought a place before. I had my own apartment, had my own car, but I didn't have a salon. However, the dream, all I saw was the dream. And I knew the talent that I had. And if I never, ever, ever know how to bet on anybody else, I know how to bet on myself. And I want y'all to get that. I hope somebody out there is receiving that. Bet on yourself. You know what your gifts are. You know how hard you could work. You know what you are going to put out in this world. You know what you are capable of. And so let me tell y'all something. For me, I'm going to repeat this. If I can't bet on nobody else, I know I can bet on myself. And that was how I was feeling. So I let the dream precede me, and then I start doing the work every day. So I was working with clients. I would even work on Sundays. I would work whatever day. I would work late in the evening, but I was just trying to build that money. I was trying to build that money. And so now, and this is another thing, if you have a dream or something that you want, what you desire desires you. What you desire desires you. So once you believe it, you accept and believe that this is what you want. This is what I want. That's acceptance. And then you believe that it's out there. You're going to find it. It's going to be so easy. As my friend Susie would say, easy world. It's going to be so easy for it to come to you. It just is. Because now you're going to meet it and God already has it there for you. It's like, what door is it behind? 1, 2, 3, or 4? But when you're sitting behind fear of, no, I can't do this. No, this said this. No, my family system says this. No, the generations before me said, no, nobody else ever opened it up. No. You're sitting there. You don't even know what's out there waiting for you. What you desire desires you. So now I'm on a quest and I just start driving around. I start driving around in the area, not too far from where I was working at that time, trying to find a salon. Okay, what does this look like? I didn't understand square footage before I actually got my place. What does this look like? Oh, where's the place? And so then all of a sudden, as I'm driving down these major streets, not too far from where I was working at, because it wasn't too far from where I lived. So as I'm looking, right, this is the area, because I'm also thinking about my clientele. So if they come to me, they love what I do, but they come to me here, then okay, I need to look in this surrounding area, because then the probability of them coming to me there is going to be pretty high. Anywho, I found this space and I literally, I'm going to put a picture up right here to show y'all what the space looked like. I'm going to show y'all this because I think it means something to show this to you. Okay. All right. So now y'all see what that place looks like. So I found this place. So I contacted the landlord. And after I contacted the landlord, I asked, how much is the rent? What's the square footage? Can you walk me through? And come to find out that this place had been a hair salon some years before. Okay. So for me, the girl that thought she wasn't smart, I mean, now I know I'm hella smart, but before, right, that was a smart girl. Okay, let me ask this. Okay, it's a hair salon. So to me, that meant that it would make more sense to go in instead of trying to rebuild and create something that's never been, to recreating something that was already there. Y'all hear what I'm talking about? So anywho, this had been a salon, and I guess a failed salon, and that's okay, because I'm sure they on to whatever their next thing was. So I go and I'm like, you know what? Let me see how much the rent is. So I know how much money I make now. So this is the deal. I have enough room for some more stations that I can hire people to work for me. But my thing is, what did I tell y'all before? If I can't bet on nobody else, I know I can bet on me. So my thing was, if with my clientele itself, I can pay my own bills here and my bills at home at my place, then this is going to be the place for me. So that meant that anybody else who worked there, that was going to be gravy on top, okay? Gravy on top of, if y'all eat beef, gravy on top of the steak, gravy on top of the chicken if it's me, or shrimp. You feel what I'm saying? That was going to be gravy. And icing on the cake if you eat cake, okay? With a little bit of ice. And all right? So then I'm like, okay, but can you do this on your own? Yes, Andrea, you know the numbers. This is what you've been doing. You can do this on your own. And this is what's so interesting, family, that even though there are going to be people in your lives, if you're trying to follow your dreams, or you're thinking about doing something that maybe you've been fearful about, and hopefully after hearing this, you go, you know what? I might just jump. There are going to be people in your lives, in your family, close to you, who love you. But because God didn't give them the vision, when they see it, they're going to be like, hell no. So I can remember a few people that I took to the place. I was like, listen, I got this idea. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to open up my own salon. Oh, you're going to open up your own salon? You want to see where it's at? Yeah, I was very proud. I'm like, okay, come on. Because like the landlord like gave me some time to kind of go look at the place or whatever. So I would take them by there to see. And they was looking like, I don't think so. Like, you don't think you should look someplace else? But y'all know what? There was nothing in my body at that time that told me to listen to whatever it was that they were saying. Neither did it tell me that they didn't love me, because I'm sure they loved me and they cared about me, but they didn't get the download that I got. So they couldn't see what I saw. They don't dream what I dreamed. I knew what I was doing. And so I did it. So anywho, I jumped, and then things just started to fall into place. I was working out with a trainer at the time, and just so happens I'm talking to her while we're training at the gym early in the morning. And I'm like, girl, I just signed a lease for this place and I need to find a contractor. Her brother was a contractor. So he gave me like a deal that was just like unbelievable. Now, don't get me wrong, honey. He was dragging his feet. He was playing games. I think he even was sleeping there. Okay. Some of those nights when he was pulling it together, and he did make my deadline, but he did renew my place. I went with him and we bought all of the materials and everything. And in addition to that, and this is one thing, you know what, I'm gonna give this shout out to my mama, because I love my mama. And anybody around who knows me, if you know me, you know my mama, Big Red. And even though, sometimes I give Big Red a hard time, one thing I will say about her, one thing I will tell you about her is she has always told me anything that I say that I want to do and I could do. She always say, go ahead and do it, girl. I know you can do it, girl. Go ahead and do it, girl. And Big Red will start looking for stuff on her own, because she always got a friend. She always got a friend of a friend, or somebody that know a friend that's going to do this. I'm like, Ma, but that's one thing that woman has always, she has given me a great self-esteem in regards to me following my dreams, in regards to how I see myself in life. So Big Red, if you listen, y'all know sometimes she can't work the stuff. If you listen, I'm shouting out to you, my love. I love you so much. And you have always told me that I can be everything that I want to be. They always set me up for those things. So Big Red, okay, my mama, was like, when I told her I was opening the salon, she said, okay, so this is what we getting ready to do. We getting ready to go. She used to look in the newspaper. We getting ready to go to these salons that are selling different, furniture. They selling furniture, and it's in the newspaper. And I'm like, in the newspaper? Because I'm going around looking for brand new stuff, right? I'm out here looking at these new places, and I'm seeing the prices of it, and I'm still, thugging it out, like working, trying to make money, so I can kind of fill this place up. And so my mom was like, guess what? She called me one day. She said, I found a place. I found this guy. It was a nice town, a nice part of town. Okay, y'all. And she was like, this man, he has a salon and it's in the bottom of his house and he's selling everything. She said, I saw it in the paper and I called him and I made an appointment and I'm going to meet you there. So Big Red and we go to this man's place and go down and we looking, and it was nice. Like when I tell y'all, the stuff was practically new, and it was the color of the stuff. And so this is the thing, right? Although I had the dream of me having my own, me working my own show, nobody else owning me, that was the dream. The color of the place, none of that stuff mattered to me at the time. Did not matter. It was more about me having autonomy, me, being in control, me leading my life, me earning, me exploring, me being creative. Yeah. And nobody else pimping me. That's all I could say, because that was my feeling. And so, because it's me. Can't nobody else get from me unless I give it to them. So I need all of that because this is my creative energy. So we go to this place. The stuff was brand spanking new. Almost. It appeared to be brand spanking new. And your girl, I had the money because I was working. So I paid him the money. My mom, I think at that time, you know what? It escapes me how we got the stuff from there to the place. It escapes me, however, but we got the stuff from there to the place. And so that was my furniture there. My point in telling y'all all of these little things, that was to give my mom a shout out. But my point is what you desire desires you. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I mean, this stuff happened less than 60 days, like within less than 60 days, like this thing came to fruition. I don't think it took longer than 60 days. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about the guy, I ain't even gonna say his name, but my contractor who I think was sleeping there, okay, overnight, just because he ain't had no place to sleep. I think at the time there was something going on with him and his wife, and he was cheating and all this kind of stuff. And so she would put him out. So he would work at my place and then he'd just be sleeping there for days. And then when I would come there and be looking like, why this ain't done? Why does it? He'd be like, yeah, because and he would never really want to be honest, but my trainer was his sister. So she'd be like, girl, this is what happened. But anywho, all that came together. And that was a dream that I had that came to fruition. And I had that salon for 11 years. And the women who came to that salon, they came and we created just a loving space for all of us. And even the women, my family who worked with me, like we created a loving space. And I'm thinking about, so I don't know if they want to be named, so I won't name them. But anywho, so that was amazing. And that was me also pushing through fear to bring my dreams to fruition. And I did it. And I did it for 11 years. But I did it until I got to a place where I was like, I'm dreaming something else. Like something else is coming up. Something else is coming up. And this was the whole thing about me, being this empowerment speaker, this motivator, but yet going to school so that I can also become credentialed, so that I could get hired too, learning about the brain and human behavior, go to school. So I had to face my fear there, which I did. And this is so interesting, y'all. So do y'all know that I graduated from the same school? From the same school who denied me when I was 17 years old. The same school that I felt like that denial was reaffirming what I heard from that teacher, Mr. Reynolds, when I was in, I think it was the first grade. Well, that denial for me got me. So then I'd be asking myself, guys, if you stuck in fear, what's the story you telling yourself? What's the story that you telling yourself? And is that story even true? Because I am smart. However, when I got denied from that school, that triggered that childhood trauma, that thought, that thing that changed my brain. And it affirmed, because nobody could help me process that. So it further affirmed like, oh, you must not be that smart. But anywho, so I reapplied to that program. I go back and I reapply to that same program. And since I was older, y'all tracking, they just let me in. Please come in. We want you to come in, because now there was a different door that was open. So you talk about failure doesn't mean it's over. It just means there's a different door. So it's obvious that I needed to be an entrepreneur. It's obvious that I needed to learn business. It's obvious that I needed to connect to those women, you understand, and create family. It is obvious that now I needed to take all of that to move on to the next level, to where else I got, what else God has for me. And so me using all of that, something inside of me said, you're pulled to this program. You are pulled to this school. Apply again. And then when I applied again, honey, there was another door. And it was something like the adult program. And I think at that time I was, 26 or 27, something like that. So I still had the salon. Now I'm still working at the salon. Still had the salon when I decided to go back to school. So I don't know if I was 24 or 25 or something like that at that time. And I applied. And when I applied, there was another door. It was like adult program, route or whatever. You could take the same classes, but you're just older than all the other younger people up in the class. Okay, that was a challenge within itself. But your girl always tries to keep it together. So the kids, they didn't know I was that much older. Okay. But anywho, so so I went to the program, graduated the program, magna cum laude. Who told that girl she wasn't smart? Some she done overheard somewhere. So I am telling you guys that, to jump. That's what I'm telling you, to jump. But to be cognizant, to try to sit and think, and a therapist can help you process these things. What is the story that you're telling yourself that's holding you back? What is the story that's keeping you stuck from going after your dreams, from jumping, from going to places that you want to go? If you want to travel the world, from meeting people who you want to meet. You understand what I'm saying? For new careers, new jobs, new friends, new relationships. What is the story that you're telling yourself? Go back, because usually it's a lie. And it's somebody else's trauma. Just because, and you know what? This is I ain't even I'm trying to be careful about what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily stepping on Mr. Reynolds' neck, because it was his private conversation and I don't know what he was talking about. Maybe his class didn't, score as high as the other class. But that didn't mean, you got all kinds of ratios in the class. That didn't mean that your girl was one of the students that was pulling it down. You got me? But I heard it. And I interpreted it in a different way. That little girl that wanted to be affirmed, right? Wanted to feel confident. I interpreted it in another way and then carried that until, thank God, life showed me that that was a lie. And me pushing through my fears and jumping told me that that was a lie. And so, no regrets. Had an amazing time with my salon and the women there as a businesswoman. First stop, okay? To then, going to school, being accepted, graduating magna cum laude, moving to Texas, getting my master's degree, opening up my practice, okay? And then back then, I could only imagine. I used to love to see Oprah all the time. When Oprah, we used to watch Oprah every day, 4 p.m. If your appointment was around 4 or 5, you was going to watch Oprah, okay? And so my thing was to always like own and Oprah, and, and so now I'm just going to say, as I've moved up in life, moved around, one day I get an email from a producer on the Oprah Winfrey Network about me doing therapy work on a show. I did that. I do these spots on TV and radio, which I've always dreamed of doing. Didn't do anything but follow my dream. I need y'all to get that. I didn't call anybody. I didn't say, hey, could you put me on? Hey, I didn't do any of that. It just came to me. One came, then another. Once you do well, you bet on yourself. Then another thing comes in. And what you dream of, what you desires you. Y'all hear me? So jump. Go after your dream. Jump. Do not allow your fears or that story that you're telling yourself to stop you. You jump. And if you need a therapist to help you through it, then you jump. So, I had so many other stories to tell y'all today, but that's what came up for me. And I just believe in, everything happens the way it's supposed to. Everything that comes up, it's supposed to come up. Every interaction is an interaction that was supposed to occur. And so the story that I gave y'all today, I didn't even plan on giving y'all that story, but okay, that's what God gave me. And hopefully that inspires somebody out there to jump. There was, as I end, I just want to tell y'all about this other thing. I got so many other stories about my entrepreneurship and how I bring stuff to fruition, and I will add those stories in. I will add those stories in later. But I want to tell y'all about this thing that I had wanted to do. It was on my bucket list. So one time, a long time ago, I saw Beyonce, it was some kind of, everybody loves Beyonce. And I really used to love Beyonce. And so some years ago, I saw Beyonce on a yacht. Not personally on a yacht. It was like television or whatever. And so years ago, I saw her on this yacht and I saw her jump. Literally just jump in the ocean. Jump. And then she floated and then she swam and she went under and she came up and she looked so free. So, for me personally, if you were to say, Andrea, can you swim? I'm going to say no, Andrea cannot swim. Although I have taken swim lessons before, and the swim lesson that I took before I did graduate, I got a certificate from the program, because at the end it was probably like a week's program or 2 weeks program, and the goal was to get your certificate was to swim from one side of the pool to the other. And this was without feeling the bottom, right? So you don't feel the bottom, you go from one side to the other. Now, on the last day, did I make it from one side of the pool to the other? I absolutely did. But did it feel almost like death trying to get there? It absolutely did. Did I hit my toenail so hard on the gravel, the side of the pool when I finally got there? Because I literally was swimming. So I was swimming for my life that my daggone toenail came off my toe, my big toe. Okay. So that means, it take a long time for that to grow back. Literally came off my toe. Okay. Because I was trying to hold on for dear life, but I got my certificate. But if you were to say, Andrea, can you swim? No, I can't swim. Because for me, swimming is being able to stop in the middle and to master, tread water. That's what it's called, treading water. Could not master treading water. Could not master treading water. Still have not mastered treading water. Now that I'm saying this to y'all, I'm going to take me some swim lessons because I'm pushing through all fear. I'm jumping. But anywho, so that's why I can't jump, because I cannot tread water. However, I did get a certificate. So when I see Beyonce in this ocean jumping in, I said to myself, oh my God, I wish I could do that. Like, I just wish I could jump in the ocean and just feel so free and just swim to the side and just get back up on the yacht again and then say, who wants to jump with me, and then jump again. So that was on my bucket list of things to do. Okay. So let me just tell y'all that I think it was 2 years ago, I want to say, we were in Belize. I think it was Belize. And we were on a yacht. And I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it, right? So the idea didn't come to my head at first, because I thought we were just on the yacht and we were just having a good time with friends, because we had a blast. I was with friends that I had just met, and I was having an amazing time. And at that time, my husband said to me, he goes, you said that you want to jump, you want to get on a yacht and you want to jump, and this is on your bucket list. So, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. And I was like, I wasn't even thinking that. But then when he went off with his friends and I was there by myself, not by myself, but I was with other women who I met, I was having a good time with, I said to myself, Andrea, it's time to jump. So I go and I find the people, they clean the boat. They kept the boat clean. They were cooking, preparing the food. We swimming with sharks. They would jump in and help people swim with sharks. So I was like, okay, Andrea, this is what I do, y'all. This is what I always tell everybody, and I mean this. The smartest person in the room is not necessarily the most intelligent, but it is the one who knows what she needs or what he needs and finds out a way to go and get it and goes to get it. So I was on my smart girl thing. I said, okay, this is what we getting ready to do. You going to ask for the help that you need. So I go over and I find the woman. She was like pulling up stuff. I said, she looked like she know how to swim. So I said, listen, this is on my bucket list. I don't know how to swim, but I want to jump in the ocean. I want to jump in the ocean. She said, you want to jump? She was asking, you want to jump in the ocean? I said, yes, I want to jump in the ocean. I said, I'm going to take care of you, but will you support me? Absolutely. She said, she started pulling off her clothes, putting on her swim trunks, whatever. She jumps in the water. So then I tell other women that I'm with, I'm like, y'all, guess what I'm about to do? Because some of them, they were afraid of the water too. I said, y'all, I'm afraid. I do not know how to swim, but I'm about to face my fear and jump in that ocean. I said, they looking at me like, huh? What? I said, y'all don't want to do it? This is my first time doing it. We can do it together. Beyonce jumped. They looking like, that's Beyonce. I'm like, okay, no problem. I just met them. It's fine. I'm just letting you know, y'all, this is what I'm going to do. I'm nervous. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. So the woman who jumps in, she gets, I want to say a raft, but she didn't get a raft, but she gets the whole floaty thing. Then I had to put the vest on. She gets another vest. I probably had about 2 or 3 vests on and a floaty thing that she had in there. She tells the other guy, because they already had the yacht, I guess anchored. She tells the other guy, come on, help. She wants to swim and she gonna swim. She gonna jump in. I said, yeah. He jumps in. So he's like, all right, I got over here. She said, I got you right here. Come on, beautiful lady. She said, I'm like, oh, I'm scared. Then somebody else on the boat was like, give me your phone. I'm going to record you. Then, all your trauma come up, your insecurities come up. So I'm like, well, when you record me, because look, I don't want them to record the whole body, the butt and all that. When you record me from the waist up, now I'm going to jump in a whole ocean, y'all. But I'm telling when you record me, make sure you record me from the waist up. You know what I'm saying? Because I want good memories when I look back. I don't want to be judging and criticizing myself. Anywho, they did. And he recorded the whole thing, and I'm grateful. So anywho, y'all, I got to the end, and I was scared. I was so scared. But I had already set up everything. Like I set up everything to ensure my safety. Like on this day, first of all, I said, God got a plan for you, sis. So he don't want you to die today. Okay, I'm going to check that off the list. I ain't dying today. And if I go too deep or come up or whatever, I got all the people here to support me. I got her here, him there. I keep saying a raft, but I got like a floaty thing here. I got about 16 on me. Like I created a plan. Go back to my business. I created a plan. I created structure for me to jump into my dream. So I get to the end, y'all. And the girls in back of me, they looking like, you gonna do this? And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, sis. And I jumped. Well, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Even when I jumped, I went lower down in that ocean than I thought I was going to go. Now, I'm going to be all the way. Y'all know I'm always going to be honest with you. I went way down, okie dokie, and I did not feel the bottom. I went down, but then I started doing like this, and I came back up to the top. And I said, oh, my God, I'm living. Like, I'm living, and I freaking did it. And then after that, which makes me so happy, the woman after me that was afraid to swim, she was like, I think I'm going to do it. I said, come on, sis, and do it. She jumped. The other woman in back of her who was super more afraid than I said, come on, sis. Then she did it. When you jump, you inspire, encourage other people to jump. You never know who's watching you. Come on, y'all. So I jumped. Then I started kind of floating away. The current had me floating away. So then I started fighting again like I did. Remember that lesson a long time ago? I was fighting like hell trying to get back to the yacht, get back to the boat. But I got back. And I had support because they was there. They like, you good, relax, helping me, pulling me. I had all them floaties on, got back up on the yacht. And now I can sit here and say, I did that. I jumped. So I would ask you, what do you need to jump? Where do you need to jump? Where in your life are you afraid to jump? Jump. Is it a new career? What's the dream? Is it finding new friends? Is it moving to a new city, state, new relationships? Do you want to go to travel to a new country? I am telling you, jump. God is always there to support you. All right, family, that is another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast by your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. I will see you on the next episode. I love you. Don't be afraid. Jump through fear.